94% of Americans have an imbalance in their hunger hormones, which means it's really hard to weigh what you want. So, like, don't beat yourself up. Calorie deficits, macro tracking, that works in the short run, but it doesn't work in the long run.
Welcome to Hack to Health, where we share hacks to help you live younger, longer. If you're tired of diet culture's relentless grip, food guilt, body shame, or weight loss plans that never stick, you're not alone. Today, we're with Laura Conley, the fun weight loss coach and founder of the Yummy Mummy Method, which helps hundreds escape. Join us on a journey to hack your hunger hormones, rewire your brain, and transform your relationship with food. No diets, no drugs, just lasting freedom. Hey, Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. First of all, I love the name, Yummy Mummy. At first, I thought you were British, to be honest, because mummy and mum. I have a lot of friends overseas in the UK, and that's where my mind initially went. Starting out, is it okay to talk about your postpartum?
Oh my God, yeah. But
Okay.
I'm an open book. We can talk about all the secrets.
Obviously, that's hard. I can't attest to it, but I do know women who went through it and currently going through it. What do you think the biggest misconceptions about weight loss that maybe traps people in this cycle, especially moms? And speaking to your experience.
I think the biggest misconception is that you can't weigh what you want to weigh. Unless you are trying to become a Barbie doll, and you're in fantasy land. But I struggled for so long that I had just accepted defeat. I just thought this is just my fate. I'm just going to always be yo-yoing. I'm just always going to be dieting. I'm always going to be on a green juice cleanse and then throwing in the towel and eating all of the pizza. And it just doesn't have to be that way. So I get so many clients that are like, no, I actually am broken. I actually am a special unicorn. There's absolutely no way that I can have the health and the body that I want. And it's just not true. You totally can. You just haven't been taught how. And there's just so much BS that's out there that's not helpful that it gets so confusing and we don't know how to mire through it. So I think that's a huge misconception. You can weigh what you want. You can have the health that you want. And your past is really irrelevant in terms of what you can create in the future.
So for you personally, if you don't mind, what was your experience?
So I think I got the messaging from a very early age that skinny was good. Thin was desirable. The skinnier, the better. And so I was having calorie counting contests with my friends when we were in high school. Who could eat the less? How could we get tiny for spring break? And it was the top of our topics of conversation all the time. And I was classic case, went to college and gained the freshman 15 or 20 or maybe a little bit more. And then I struggled from there on out. And I was always the girl that was let's do this diet. Let's do this challenge, only to do it for, I do the whole 30 for 29 days and then throw in the towel for the next 2 months and be eating everything in sight. Meanwhile, also kind of having this love-hate relationship with my body. I felt like I should love it. That's the right thing to do. But I didn't love it. And it was just this constant back and forth of not loving my body, so much food chatter. What should I eat? What should I not eat? Having so much dread over my life because nothing fit in my closet. And how was I going to go to the, party and trust myself? So it was just so much drama. And then I had my daughter, and that was about 8 years ago. And I caught myself. I had a big wake up call moment because I had stepped out of the shower. I was butt naked. My daughter is 6 or 7 weeks old. She's in her bassinet, all cute and perfect, cooing up at me. And I'm there beating the crap out of myself for not bouncing back into my pre-baby jeans, quote unquote, fast enough. And that was the moment. That was the moment that I was this has to stop here because I'm going to pass this down to my daughter. She will inherit this screwed up relationship with her body that I have with mine and with food if I don't heal this at the root. And so I went on a maniacal mission to really solve this at the root. And I still kind of can't believe that I did solve it at the root because it felt so impossible for so long. I had really, like I said, I had totally accepted defeat. I was this is just going to be the thing that I struggle with in life. And it's not that bad. So like, we'll just mire through. But I knew my daughter would inherit it. Like I even knew I could say the right things. Like I knew I'd be able to say the right things, but I knew she was going to become more intuitive and smarter than that. She would catch me trying on 17 different outfits. She was going to catch me like glancing at myself in the mirror, like with a look of disgust. She would notice me like turning away from my husband in the kitchen if he like went to like, grab my waist or whatever. And so, because my husband's very affectionate. But anyways, my point is, like, I knew she would inherit it. So I went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole to like solve it, and actually did solve it. And I'll be honest, like I did want to lose a baby weight. I just wanted to do it in a healthy way that was actually sustainable. Because prior to that, I only lost weight by like basically starving myself and eating like 800 calories Monday through Thursday night. And then like, 2,000 on the weekend. So anyways, so yeah, I was already a coach at the time. And so I started like testing what I had learned. Yes, on myself, it worked on me. And then I started testing on my clients and my friends. And I was like, oh my God, this like really works. So really what I found is that it has to be holistic. It can't just be like, here's this prescription, here's this one size fits all. It has to be a blend of hunger hormone. We can go into any of these things if you want to, but hunger hormone balance, mindset, emotional intelligence, accountability, and really like self-love. Like we're so schooled and we're so good at beating the crap out of ourselves when we like make a quote unquote mistake. And that actually doesn't work, as you probably know. Like we all have the proof, we all have the evidence that like punishing ourselves hard enough doesn't work. So I used a lot of my background at the time to create what is now the Yummy Mummy method. But I also learned a lot by going down those rabbit holes and testing on my clients and my friends. And my friends were like, you have to do this. You have to niche down. Like you have to go all in on this. So 7 years ago, I let go of all of my like regular like life coaching clients and just went all in on freeing the moms from the diet culture.
It's funny because your kids are a little younger than mine, but you actually saw this in middle school too. They don't really bring lunch anymore, which is scary to me.
Yes, it's like a normal, natural thing that we have to do to stay alive. Yeah.
You brought up hunger hormones. I would love to jump into that because you mentioned maybe we're not realizing they're out of sync. Could you explain for people listening, like how do these even get disrupted, and maybe signals people should be paying attention to they may not be?
Such a good question. Okay, so your main hunger hormones are insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. And 94% of Americans have an imbalance in their hunger hormones, which means it's really hard to weigh what you want. So like, don't beat yourself up. Calorie deficits, macro tracking, that works in the short run, but it doesn't work in the long run. And I think that's what we've all been taught. We've all been taught how to diet. We've all been taught how to lose weight in the short term. We haven't been taught how to lose weight for the last time. And I think the key is, well, there's several keys, but a huge key is balancing your hunger hormones. So your main hunger hormone is insulin, and insulin is a storage hormone. And so when you eat processed foods, your insulin is going to spike, and it's going to cue your body to store fat that your body doesn't need. And it's also going to block your body from releasing the fat that's on your body if you do want to release fat on your body. And it's like a triple whammy because then you get a crash. You get a blood sugar crash and you're hangry, and it feels like an emergency. You like have to eat, but your body doesn't actually need fuel in that moment. So, and then it screws up your leptin and ghrelin, which are responsible for telling you when you're sated and when you're hungry, when you need to move your body and when you need to rest your body. And so you can eat in a way that balances your hunger hormones so that your hunger hormones aren't doing these huge peaks and crashes. They're just nice rolling hills, and you become insulin sensitive or fat adapted, and your body can use the fat on your body for fuel. And that's the way that the fat comes off. It's actually it's actually really, really cool. Like I actually love to teach my clients, like, isn't this cool that your body stores fat on your body in case you need fuel? Like we don't need to be mad at the fat on our bodies. Like this is actually awesome biologically and from an evolutionary standpoint. So that in a nutshell is what your hunger hormones are and what they do. And again, that's like very kind of quick and cliff notey. But the next question usually is, okay, like, how do I do that? Like, what are your clients eating? What are they not eating? Like, what are you eating? What are you not eating? And so I really recommend, now this has to be custom for the individual. One of the reasons why diets don't work is because they're not custom. It's one size fits all. And so, but the general idea is that we have to move away from processed foods. We actually, like, as human beings, are not designed to eat processed foods. And this was like me. Like, if this was like 10 years ago and I'm listening to me, it's like, yeah, but I already eat healthy. I already eat whole foods. It's like, yeah, but we have to get a little bit more precise, because I was lying to myself. I was like not being really honest with myself. Like, I was eating healthy, like, I don't know, 65, 70% of the time. And then the other portion I wasn't, and that was screwing me up. And so for some of your audience, they might feel like really confronted when I call this out, but a lot of people will say 80/20 works. It's just, you just got to like do, really good on your plan for 80%, and then 20% you can do whatever. And for me and my clients, honestly, it's like more like 95/5. And again, that can be really confronting, but it's actually really relieving in the end, because it's like, that's why it feels like I'm gaining and losing the same 4 pounds every single week. So to go back to the hunger hormones, most of my clients are moving away from those processed foods and towards whole foods. So like processed sugar, flours, things like that, that really our bodies were not made to eat on a regular basis.
Yeah, the ultra processed is, it's just crazy how we, the generation that, obviously we have kids, so
Yeah.
similar, we grew up on, and just seeing the childhood diabetes and all these things that are going into the next generation, and like, oh my goodness, so something has to be changed. I actually like that approach, 95/5, because I definitely will say 90/10 a lot. And then that 10, you watch your whatever significant other, your kids, whatever, eating that stuff, and you're like, that still seems like a lot.
Yeah.
So
it adds up, and there's opportunities left and right? For
yes.
all, like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. The other thing I'll say is the emotional eating component too. Like, if we start using food for what it's for, which I believe is fuel, then it makes it a lot easier for us to weigh what we want. So I think our culture teaches us, like, food is a great fixer. It's a great escape. It's a great thing. You had a bad day. Oh, your boss sent you like a, really mean, cruel email. Let's go for cupcakes, or let's go like to the, crumble cookies or whatever, like that's going to solve it. And like, maybe it does for 5 seconds, but for most of my clients, it leaves them with this net negative, this regret, this hangover, and they can't get what they want. So I actually love emotional eating as an invitation, because it shows you, like, I always say to my clients, like, if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution. So if you are eating for emotional reasons, like, what's behind that? Because then we can hack that and give you a better solution. So if you're like, pacing in the pantry at 9:30 p.m. because it was like the hardest, toughest day ever between kids and dogs and jobs and whatever, husbands, partners, the goldfish, the cheddar bunnies, the like whatever, that's not going to solve it. But you do need comfort. You do need pleasure. So how can we give you comfort and pleasure, or relief, or whatever the thing is? How can we give that to you in a way that is a net positive? And so that's a huge component of, what we talk about inside my program.
No, that's absolutely huge. And it's a great point you bring up, boss sends an email, or happy birthday, here's pepperoni pizza and cake because you lived another year. Let's live another, right? Like, it doesn't really make the most sense. But when I was reading through your bio, I saw the term food chatter, and I was curious about that. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, like sort of mental noise about eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that start for someone who's trying to visualize what food chatter is, and how does it kind of keep us stuck in that trap?
Oh my gosh, it's such a good question. I love that. So like, the way I would describe food chatter is like, you're at the dinner table, like say you're out to dinner maybe with your family. They bring over like the basket of rolls, and you're like, oh, I said I wasn't going to have the rolls, but they look really good, and they're like steaming and hot. And oh my God, I love that butter, because it's like that sweet cinnamon, whatever butter. I don't know, whatever butter it is. And your kids are right there, and they're talking about their day, but you're not there. You're not engaged, because you're going back and forth with whether or not you should eat the bread. And then you eat the bread, and then you eat a second piece of the bread, and now you're beating yourself up for eating the bread. And now your daughter's telling you about her new crush, but again, you can't even like be there for it, because you're figuring out, how are you going to work off all this bread? How are you going to get in a 2 a day tomorrow to get this? So that's what it looks like. I mean, I can paint more pictures for you for sure, but it's just this constant negotiation with yourself over what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. Oh my God, I just ate off plan. Now how am I going to have to work that? Like it's that talk track, which takes up so much mental and emotional energy.
Yeah, because I think especially moms are dealing with, stress from just being a parent,
Yeah.
societal pressures. So when they're sort of maybe struggling with the food, right?
Yeah.
What is this social pressure doing to them? Is that part of what's creating the food chatter?
I always say, Joe, such a good question. So I always say that we're all walking around with like 15 pounds of people pleasing pounds, like social pressure pounds, right? Like maybe you're out with your girls for mom's night out or whatever, or you're at a happy hour or whatever, and everyone else is eating the bread or everyone else is eating the appetizers. You don't want to look like the weirdo for not having the appetizers, but like, what if you genuinely don't want the appetizer? Like, what if you're like, I'm not even really that hungry, or I really do want to honor my plan. It's like you feel the pressure to eat the thing because you don't want to look like a weirdo. Or your friend does bring you cupcakes for your birthday and they're like, I got them just special for you. You don't want to disappoint that person. You want to show that you're grateful. And I'm always like, you're going to have to like be willing to disappoint other people in order to your future self, in order to like become her. Like, we're going to have to get comfortable with other people having vibrations in their body like disappointment. And it's not that big of a deal. It's not a good reason to not get what you want. It's just not. But we're scared because we have lower brains that don't want to be kicked out of the tribe, literally. So yeah, so the social pressure is huge. But I also love breaking up with the social pressure because it shows you that you actually won't get kicked out of the pack if you put yourself and your needs first. Like, it shows you that people will still love you if you're a weirdo. Like, I'm a weirdo. Like, if I go to a kid's birthday party and I'm genuinely hungry and all they have is pizza, I am going to eat the pizza toppings and I'm not going to eat the bread. I'm not. I mean, maybe if it's like my favorite pizza ever, like I will, right? But if it's like the crappy whatever pizza, from the strip mall, like I'm just going to eat the toppings of like 2 or 3 and call it a day. And now I try to see if people will make fun of me. I'm like, can I get a rise out of anybody? Like, can I get somebody to like be like, what are you doing? And anyways, lately I'm on this soapbox about like, any goal, any big goal or dream that we have, I think we're going to have to be willing to like look a little weird or like go outside of the norm. And I think that's like okay. And it gives other people permission to do the same too.
Yeah, because the girls, when they're younger, they don't want to stand out for sure, right? Like the high school, middle school, right? Maybe when you get older, it's a little bit easier to kind of let that go. And people are supportive. Like, my wife and I, we don't drink. But, friends do. And when they look at you the first couple of times, like, oh, it's just one beer. And it's like, I just don't want to do it, man. Like, I just don't want to.
Most people don't care. Like, I think you will get the food pusher or the beer pusher once in a while. But, like, most people just don't give an F. Like, my husband just stopped drinking, I don't know, 4 months ago or something for health reasons. And, like, literally no one cares. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, they're interested in his health, but, like, they don't care.
Yeah, it's like we'll still split the bill. Like, don't worry. Like, it's not a big deal. But we just don't want to put that into our bodies, right? So how about when you mentioned emotional eating, right? How can someone, okay, is this food chatter? Is this emotional eating? Like, how can they start to figure out how to maybe turn these cravings that they're feeling to, I don't know, is self-love a fair thing to say? If it's coming from this emotional standpoint, how do they recognize it and how do they sort of turn it around?
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good question. So I first and foremost love my clients to set this big vision, this dream come true vision of how they could look and feel in their bodies. And from there, we back in and we like reverse engineer it. We get them a plan that feels really good for them, that will balance their hunger hormones. And the hypothesis is, and the theory is that if they balance their hunger hormones, they'll lose weight for the last time. Client, like let's say Megan, my client Megan might have a protocol or a plan that's like no processed sugar and no flour and no eating after 8 p.m. That is like a very kind of standard plan that one of my clients might have, with an option for a treat or two every week. Okay. Like that goes back to like the 95-5. And so then it's like, exactly what you're doing. And then why? I make all of my clients have compelling reasons that they're connecting to every day. So they are really connected to the why behind it. Why do they want to weigh what they want to weigh? Because I want to play pickleball with my grandkids. Oh, because I want to rock the bathing suit and say yes to going down the water slide with my kids. Like all a bazillion different compelling reasons my clients have. But those compelling reasons light them up. They compel them. They motivate them. So that way, when the store-bought cupcake is sitting there, they're so much more likely to choose their future selves instead of the cupcakes. But that really takes, I call it allow power. It's like the opposite of willpower. We can go into it in a moment, but it's really, once my clients get their hunger hormones balanced, it's really easy to hear and to feel true physical hunger. Because if their hunger hormones are balanced, they are not experiencing hormonal hunger. That's the hanger. That's that big crash. Okay, so we've got the hormonal hunger out of the way. Now we have true physical hunger, and then we have emotional hunger. And so you're like, how do we know if it's emotional hunger or true physical hunger? It's by practices and tools that I teach. But to give you kind of it in a nutshell is like, okay, it's 2:30 right now. I just had lunch at 1. I'm a little bored because or a little restless. I don't want to do this next project on my list that I'm supposed to be doing right now. So I'm just going to like go downstairs and like see what's in the kitchen. I just going to see like, are there any nuts that I could just snack on? It's like, okay, I'm not hungry. So if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution, what's going on for me? Like that's what I would have my clients ask, like, what's going on? I'm feeling resistant to doing this project. Maybe I do need a break, but maybe the way that I can take a break is not by eating almonds. It's by going for a 10-minute walk around the block. Like I'm allowed to have a break. I deserve a break. I need a reset. Or it's like 9:30 p.m. You've got little kids and it's just been like a crazy, like nutty day. Of course you want the ice cream because you want a little reward. You want a little hit. You want a little comfort. Okay, how can I give myself that comfort in a way that's supportive? And we do that work together, obviously, but those are great questions you can start asking yourselves. And it's like, it's about the pause. It's like that quote from Viktor Frankl. It's like there's the stimulus and then there's the response. And in between the stimulus and the response is our power to choose. And so my job as a podcast guest or a coach is to help my clients lengthen that between the cupcake and the response, right? It's like, okay, there's the cupcake or the ice cream or whatever. Can you just put your hands on your heart, recommit to your future self, to your plan, to what it is you want to create using your compelling reasons and make a different choice and go get in bed early with your favorite fairy novel or whatever it is. Go get on the couch with your hubby and watch White Lotus or whatever, like plan a massage. I don't know, something that's going to fill your cup in a way that sustains you and doesn't leave you with like a hangover, right? Or regret or like an unintended consequence. So it's really about like slowing it down and then hands on your heart and like, okay, if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution, what do I need? What am I craving? Oh, I'm really craving connection. Oh, I'm really craving pleasure. How can I give that to myself? And it's a practice that we have to practice over time. And what's really important here is that my clients start to use the concept of allow power, because what we typically do when the cupcake is there is we're like, what's wrong with you? Why do you want the cupcake? You can't have the cupcake. Why is my husband such an a-hole for bringing cupcakes home? He knows I'm on a diet, right? Like, oh my God, I have crazy stories about like berating my husband for having junk food in the house. Now I don't care. Now he can have all the junk food in the house and I like don't give a crap because I don't want it because I've used allow power. So we're so used to willing ourselves. We're so used to using willpower to white knuckling it when the cupcake's there or whatever. No, you can't. You're bad. Why do you want this? And instead, I want my clients to practice allow power. Of course you want it. It makes so much sense that you want it. Like, yeah, it's literally designed to get you to want it. And you know what? We're going to make a different choice. We're going to choose our future self here. It's a little uncomfortable. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to move on. That's allow power versus willpower. And I will say, like, allow power takes practice. It is a muscle. Yeah. So that's a very long-winded answer to your question.
No, I like that philosophy that you have. When someone is, how would they use that if kind of beat themselves up. I mean, would you say like a mistake that people make when they're struggling with the emotional eating, but they use it as just like negative self-talk?
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Okay. So my clients will come into my program. They will make a plan. We'll make it together. And then they're going to make a quote unquote mistake, or they're going to have a detour or whatever. Call it whatever you want. That's normal. That's going to happen. Now, I teach my clients the practice of look back with love, because most clients or most humans will make a quote unquote mistake and they'll either throw their head in the sand or they'll beat the crap out of themselves. What's wrong with you? Why did you eat that thing? We said we weren't going to. You literally actually must be a failure. Like, you can never do anything right. Like, come on, get it together. How come Steph can not eat it? Like, she's better than you, or whatever the like rhetoric is, right? And so those are the two choices. Beat the crap out of yourself or throw your head in your sand and be like, it's fine. You only live once. But like, and that's fine. But like, if that's not what you want, that's you ignoring yourself. That's you throwing your head in the sand. So I teach a practice called Look Back with Love, where you're like, and honestly, Joe, it's like a little bit of that shame will come up. If you're really practiced at beating yourself up, your brain will probably try to beat you up again. And I just want you to be like, that's normal. But here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to look back with love. We're going to like bathe ourselves with love. This is just you're just learning a new skill. I told you, you're a beginner at losing weight for the last time. You've never done that before. You lost weight in the short term probably, but never the long term. So you're brand new. It's like, I always love to give an analogy. Like, I'm learning pickleball right now. And like, if I make a mistake, I do not like attach it to my self-worth or my value as a person. I'm just like, big deal. I'll fix it next time. I'll learn from it. Same should be true here. So if you make a mistake, I wonder what was going on for me. I wonder what was up. I wonder why I didn't follow through on my plan. There's got to be a reason. And just getting really curious. If we can stay in that curiosity and out of that judgment, we get to learn so much. And then we get to pre-program our brain for next time. The same exact situation or one very similar will come up. And so how do we want that to go next time? And so it's like, it's practice, 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 practice.
I love that. When I believe it was your website, I can't remember, but it was something about calling out maybe the diet culture contradiction of like, we want you to be thin, but we're also shaming you for losing weight, right? That kind of.
Oh my God.
Like, how does people dismantle that when they're trying to go through this and deal with all the emotional,
Yeah. So hard. Like, it's the worst. I mean, I experienced this before I went down, before I actually healed all this, because I was at the time a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher and a coach too. But like, on one hand, as a yoga teacher, I'm supposed to be like all evolved, right? And I'm supposed to just love my body at any size. But I'm also supposed to be a waif thin, popular LA yoga teacher, right? It's like these contradictions. And I couldn't reconcile it because there was so much outside noise of what I'm supposed to do and should do. And when I finally got quiet and went inside, the answers were there. And my intuition was telling me that I did love my body, but I wanted to change it. And in fact, me wanting to change my body didn't mean that I didn't love it. It meant I did love it. Because I think that's the messaging that we get. Like, a lot of us come out of the 80s and 90s and like heroin chic, Kate Moss, and we've grown up trying to eat 400 calories, but then we swing all the way over here to this other side where it's like body positivity, intuitive eating, which I love and I teach. But there has to be this middle path of like, what do I want? What's right for me? The ironic thing for me is like the way that the extra fat got on my body was by me not using food for what it was for. It was by escaping emotions, like using food for restlessness, using food for pleasure. It's like, get it from somewhere else, Laura. So I got really honest and I'm like, I do want to lose weight. I'm allowed to want to lose weight. And so that's what I would offer to the audience is like, what do you want? If you can, and it's really hard ask, but if you can drown out all the external shoulds, all the confusing, do this, don't do this, and go within, what do you want? You are allowed to want to lose weight. We've almost made it taboo in our culture to want to lose weight, for women at least. And you're allowed to want it. You don't even have to tell anybody about it that you want that. It's also scary to want it for a lot of us because we've tried so many times and quote unquote failed so many times. Anyways, my point here is that I really, I really think we have to tune out the cultural conditioning, the programming, the socialization we got, and go within and ask ourselves, what do we want? And then be courageous enough to go get it one tiny step at a time.
Is that like the sort of, if you had to take a mindset approach to it for people who maybe, okay, they're just kind of getting started, but they have a lot of the emotional eating, they have a lot of the negative self-talk with clients that are kind of just like, could you walk us through? And again, obviously, I know this is all like not one size fits all. Everyone's a different size, shape,
Yeah.
age. But like, where do you sort of start with someone, and
Yeah.
how does it start with mindset if that's part of the
Yeah.
approach?
Mindset is, there's so much mindset that goes into my program. I mean, honestly, the mindset was I mean, there were so many missing pieces, but the mindset was a really big missing piece for me. I used to think all the time, I literally know everything. I could like write a book on nutrition. Like I tried every diet like 20 times each. And I would be like kicking myself because I was like, I know all the things. I just can't get myself to do the things. So if you ever feel like that, it's because your mindset is just not right. And no one's teaching you mindset. Like, well, Joe's teaching you, but a lot of people are not teaching mindset. I'm like, why are we learning algebra? Can we learn mindset? Can we learn emotional intelligence, EQ, like in the fifth grade, right? Anyways, my point here is that I really genuinely believe that we aren't taught how to think. And so when my clients first come into the program, now they're desperate. They want to lose 10 pounds by yesterday. They just want me to give them a plan because they think that's the answer. And so we do craft the plan pretty much right away. What plan are they doing? We get them losing weight right away. Then we start working on the mindset. So I also think mindset, like, I'm like, what does that even mean? So when it comes to food, every single piece of food that goes in your mouth has to have a thought that precedes it. You can't put a piece of food in your mouth without a thought. What is a thought? A thought is just a sentence in your brain. Okay. And then I want to explain real quick two entities that you have. There's your brain. Your brain's job is to think thoughts. Okay. And then there's you, your higher self, like capital Y for you. And most of us, our brains are the masters and we're kind of like the servants. And what I teach my clients to do is I want you, your higher self, your best self, your future self. I want you to be the master and I want your brain to be the servant. So I really like for us to untangle these two entities. It's like Marie Kondoing your brain. And I want us to get all the crap that's in your brain out on a piece of paper. And I want to I want to pick up each thought and I want to put it in the goodwill or I want to keep it. Right? Like, are these thoughts that are in your brain useful? Because a lot of my clients come in thinking thoughts like, well, I have to finish my dinner because I don't want to waste it. Right? And so what do? They eat their dinner. Is that thought helpful or useful for them if they're trying to lose weight and they're genuinely not hungry and they're genuinely full and they're still eating? No. So we need to reprogram their brain. It's like, it's habit change research, it's neuroplasticity. And so then we replace that thought with, it is safe for me to throw this food away, or the garbage, my body is not a garbage can. I'm throwing this away. I'm going to try a new way. So there's tons of that tweaking that happens inside the mindset. Like, and I could give you a million different examples of thoughts that cause us to eat when we actually aren't hungry. Like, for example, oh my God, it's like the bread example. Oh my God, that bread, it smells so good. It's warm, it's fresh, it's homemade. And the butter, it's like the special butter with the special salt. Like all of those thoughts, that's creating so much desire. And then we eat the bread. But if you genuinely don't want to eat the bread, you have to think thoughts like, that bread is probably covered in Roundup.
True.
I mean, I'm being a little like dramatic and facetious. Yeah. So it's like we have to reprogram our to think thoughts that give us the result that we want, right? There's no way a piece of food can get into your mouth without a thought. And guess what? We get to choose our thoughts. We don't have, it's like the quote, like, don't believe everything you think. I want you analyzing and looking at and poking holes at every single thought that enters, because some are helpful for you and some are not helpful for you. And if you want to lose weight for the last time and you're going to continue to think I have to clean my plate or I have to eat the appetizers when my friends are eating the appetizers, good luck. Like it's gonna be an uphill battle, and that is why it's the mindset is everything. One last thing I want to say on the mindset is that so many of us we're just kind of operating on autopilot when it comes to food. So our brain is thinking thoughts maybe unintentionally, automatically, and it's giving us like if you don't weigh what you want to weigh, most likely your brain is thinking thoughts on autopilot that are giving you the results you don't want. Unintended consequences, you being up 30 pounds. But we can rewire your brain so that your brain thinks thoughts automatically that give you the results you want. It's like I make my bed every day automatically. But I didn't make my bed automatically every day in college. And I was like, ew, this is gross. I want to be clean. I want to be like organized. So I had to really double down and pay attention for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And now it's just automatic. It's like brushing your teeth. How many days did I have to harass my kids to brush their teeth? Every morning for what? 3 years? And now what do they
years.
do?
Yeah.
Now they just brush their teeth. And the same is true for our eating habits.
That's a great way to look at it. I think there's a lot of people out there that maybe, there's a negative connotation to the GLP-1 drugs, I was going to say. And I don't know what your stance is on it. Obviously, there's a role, I'm assuming. But if you don't mind clarifying, like, for people, they see, I've seen these commercials on TV. Like, what role are they playing in weight loss? And what is your thought on them? Do you incorporate them or do you stay away from them?
It's like the best question ever, and it's such a hot topic, right? So I just see GLP-1s as a tool. I really don't believe that it should be the only tool because there's something else underneath that we need to address, right? So it's like the ultimate Band-Aid. And what will happen, and I've seen this in my practice, is that people will take a GLP-1, but then they'll transfer, like maybe they were eating for emotional reasons, and then they take the GLP-1 and then they'll transfer their emotional eating habit to over scrolling, over drinking, over watching porn, over sorry, but like not sorry. You can edit that out if you need to. They'll just transfer whatever the food was doing for them to another drug, right? And so that's where I get a little bummed out because I really want us to heal at the root, right? I really want to solve whatever's going on at the root. But I do think that GLP-1s can be a really helpful tool in a toolbox of many tools. There should be many tools. I get clients who, like I just had this client who was just on my podcast, actually. She lost like 60 pounds on a GLP-1. And then she actually wanted to do the root work. So she came into my program. She had plateaued for an entire year. So she lost 60 pounds, plateaued for an entire year. And she's like, I need something else. And I do want to do the root work. She came into my program and now she's another 30 pounds down and she's continuing to lose because the GLP-1 actually wasn't enough for her. She needed more. Or like I'll get clients where the side effects are too uncomfortable for them. Like they have stomach stuff, GI stuff, like whatever. So they'll come in or like their insurance stopped covering it or whatever. So what I don't like is the demonization or the shame around it. I don't think that there should be shame around it. I think, again, you should go within, tune out the noise. What is right for me? What do I want? What do I need? And so that's kind of like my stance on it. But I really don't think you should just do the GLP-1s because I think it's there's a bigger issue at hand that we have to heal at the root.
Yeah, no, I agree. And now that we're starting to see them suggested and or pushed for kids, I was going to ask you about kids. For a lot of, moms listening, of course.
Yeah.
What do you think the best approach is for treating this relationship with food with your kid? Obviously, your example in the beginning was very vivid with your daughter, but she was too young to remember, of course. But you stopped all that before. Yeah, it became an example. But what can moms listening?
I'm still gonna screw her up. Let's be honest. Okay, so people ask me this question all the time. I love this question, but you might not like the answer. I really think the answer is like doing your own work so that you can just naturally be a role model. I will give you tips and tricks and things that I like to like say to my kids, but people are like, will you come teach a workshop on how to teach your kid how to have a healthy relationship with food? And I'm like, the workshop is like, we have to workshop you. It's like anything in your life, like Joe, for you, like anything in your life that you feel really convicted around, you feel like you've got a really healthy, like maybe marriage or a healthy relationship to working out, or maybe you have like really strong values around work and contributing, whatever it is, you are just going to naturally pass those down. And the same can be true for food and body image. But so heal your relationship with yourself. That's number one. And while you're doing it, it doesn't mean you can't include your kids. Like, you can ask them, like, I just like to, this goes back to the conversation about, can we go within? Our bodies have all the answers. Can we go within? Can we go within? Tuning out. So I'm not constantly, but I'm asking my kids a lot, like, how does your body feel? Are you still hungry? How did that giant milkshake sit in your stomach? I'm teasing. But I also do believe, I mean, I don't believe this is true. Our kids do not have developed prefrontal cortexes. They do not actually have the ability to make decisions that are in the best interest of their health. They don't. They have lower brains that are lit the F up. And then we have this multi-billion-dollar food industry that have figured out how to make these foods drugs and to get our kids addicted. And I'm not saying anything's bad or wrong. I'm just saying that I actually do, like, I don't let my kids just have whatever, whenever, because I don't think that's in service of them. This is maybe kind of bold, but I don't think that's the most loving act. I think like applying a little bit of healthy restriction around food is appropriate, because otherwise, like if I left it up to my son, like I'll give you a quick example. My dad took my son to the movies like a month ago. And my dad's like, he's just somersaulting. He's just somersaulting in the movies. And I'm like, what'd you give him? He's like, well, we went to Chick-fil-A and we had milkshakes. And then I got them Sour Patch Kids and like goobers at the movies. I'm like, yeah. And it's like a bummer for my son because he actually can't control himself. Like it's out of body, and he can't enjoy the movie. So I could go on and on about this. But I really think asking your kids questions, like my kids sometimes will be like, how come you're not having any ice cream? Right. And like, I get moms that are so freaked out about that question because they like don't want to give their kid an eating disorder. And it's like, I'm not having the ice. And I love ice cream and I do eat ice cream with my kids. But like, if we're going to they like to go to Cold Stone. I don't like Cold Stone really that much. It's like not worth it for me. So anyways, I am at Cold Stone. They're like, why aren't you having ice cream? I'm like, Cold Stone like doesn't feel good in my body. And that's just like the truth. And they're like, okay, cool. Moving on. Like it's not like, another example I love to give is like eating is a biological, it's like a thing that we have to do to stay alive, right? Like sleeping or pooping, right? My kids are like, Mom, why aren't you taking a nap, right? I'm like, I'm not taking a nap because, first of all, they're not going to ask me that, but because I'm not tired, right? I'm not pooping because I don't have to poop. Like I'm not eating because I'm not hungry. Like we've just attached so much to food that I think we have to kind of like start to unravel and like just get curious and ask questions. So anyways.
No, that's great. Leading by example, and the best gift you can give your kids is health, I would argue.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, and people who are out there, and you can make your own ice cream. There's ways to get around things, and 100%. You can find right. What? And I know I don't want to. I know you have a tight schedule.
No, you're totally fine. I have time. I actually have time.
Okay, I just wanted to I was going to ask you, so when families, do you encourage that in your practice? Like people who can sit down and cook together? Like what's the philosophy there? Because I think they don't know where to go. They're like, oh, I have all this stuff, but I'm not a good cook. What do I do?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, my social media manager the other day, she was like, we need B-roll content of you cooking. And I'm like, that's hilarious because I don't cook. And then we made it. It's like me making scrambled eggs and my husband's just making fun of me the whole time because I like can't even do it. But my point here is it's whatever works for you. It's tuning out the noise of what works for your family. I don't teach meal prep because I don't meal prep. I do teach fridge prep and I do really like my clients to have something like Instacart. We can go into that later. But my point here is that what works for you guys? Like right now, actually, I do cook a little bit with my kids. Right now, going back to the kid thing, like I love to cook with my kids because then they get more engaged and they get more interested in trying like new foods. But again, it's whatever works for your family. So like for our family, what works is like we do like Sun Basket, like one of those meal kits. We get like 2 of those meals. There's a couple nights we go out to eat. We do takeout. We do takeout like probably once a week. And then another night or two, we're doing like, we do a lot on the grill. Like we're like very simple, like steak, chicken, fish, and like tons of veggies. Like it just really super easy grill, like, cause we can pretty much grill year round. So we'll do the Traeger, we'll do the charcoal, and we're just like, protein, veggies. And then for the kids, we'll do like rice or sweet potato. Well, I do rice and sweet potatoes too, but like, and then one night if they want pasta, like it's not a big deal. So it's going back to work what works for your family. Meal prepping for 6 hours on a Sunday does not work for my family. So like there's no part of me, I'm never going to do that.
I've never gotten into it either. So it's very time consuming. I understand the idea, especially someone that might be single or maybe their kids are older and, and they have more free time where they can.
Yeah.
It's great. Then you don't have to think, I get that.
I also love to like, if we're cooking, like tonight we're going to do like salmon and I don't even know what, asparagus and a salad and rice for my kids. And my husband will eat the rice. And sometimes I eat the rice, like I said. But like, I just like to make like triple because then I just will eat it. And I am not one of those people that cares. I'm like, whatever. I kind of like eating the same thing over and over again. So we'll make like triple and then I have lunch for 3 days. So you can like hack it that way as well.
Yeah. And how much of the Yummy Mummy program goes beyond food and lifestyle? Like, is there a component to that? You mentioned sleep and all those kind of other aspects.
I mean, I would say, okay, my clients always joke. They're like, you tricked me into a weight loss program, but this was like a life transformation program. So I don't believe that we can really lose weight for the last time unless we do the mindset and the emotional intelligence and the really self-love stuff. And so the majority of the program really is that, because that's that root work. Those are the things that make it permanent. So yeah, my clients come out of it. And like, if you go to listen to my podcast, my podcast guests who are my clients are like, they're talking about their weight loss, but what they're really excited about is how much they love themselves, is how they quit their job and finally did their like passion project, like how their marriage is upgraded. They're actually like their husband. So they're talking about all these things because the ripple is real. It's like, if you solve this one thing, everything else becomes like all these unexpected byproducts start happening. So yeah, the program is so holistic, and we're talking about everything. We're talking about parenting. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about, money, everything. It all comes up.
Wow. So because becoming your own bestie, I think I read.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the core.
Yeah, I think so clients, when they come in, they're like, ugh, I don't want to learn to love myself. Like, I don't want to become my own, like, whatever. That's not going to help me. But I'm like, you're in your body and you're with yourself every day for the rest of your life. Like, what if you could enjoy it? Like, what if it was fun? And so becoming your own bestie is really just like the inner rhetoric, the inner chatter, the talk track inside your brain. And most of us are speaking really unkindly to ourselves. And some of my clients don't actually even know they're being so mean to themselves because it's just so normalized. It's just like automatic. It's just subconscious. But they do know that they feel low level ick for their life. They do know that they like low key have a black cloud hanging over them. They do not wake up excited for their day. They are not hitting, before they become my client, they're not waking up excited for the day. They're hitting their head on the pillow at night feeling really dissatisfied and like very Groundhog Day. So yeah, we literally change all of it because we have to if we want the result of permanent weight loss.
Yeah. And for people listening, do you work with people, I'm assuming televisit, right? Like in terms of virtually, I should say.
Yeah.
How does someone get in touch with you and sort of learn more about the program?
Yeah. You're the best, Joe. So I do have a link for you guys if you want it. It's called lauraconley.com/plan. It is my free weight loss plan playbook. It's so that you can create your own custom plan. This is what I would have wanted when I was struggling. It's so good. Like, it shouldn't be free. It usually isn't free, but you can check that out. In terms of like working with me, I run cohorts. So we all start together and end together for 6 months. And we coach live once a week. And then we have like an app that we coach on during the time that we're not together. And we offer like lessons and modules. There's a journaling practice that goes with it. It's really holistic, and we guarantee their weight loss. So you can go to lauraconley.com and click work with me and get on the wait list for the next one. The next one it won't be until January, which is obviously everyone's favorite time anyways. So
perfect timing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys can check that out. It's really fun. It's all like the cohorts are obviously all over Zoom and online. Yeah. And then you guys are obviously podcast listeners. So you can check my podcast out, which is called Free the Moms, that I just did a rebrand. Actually, it used to be called Lose Weight for the Last Time, but we're just expanding and growing. So we got a rebrand over here.
You got the social media manager. You got
Yeah.
everything's going well.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. I really appreciate your time today and getting to know you. I'm really glad we connected because I'm not a mom, but I'm very involved with my daughter and
Yeah.
we're on the same page with a lot of things. So it's very interesting to hear your perspective, and you have such a great personality. So it's great. It's very easy to see how you connect with people and motivate them, because that's, I think, what a lot of them are looking for. It's just, hey, how do I get out of this rut and lose the weight, but enjoy myself?
Well, that's a huge piece of it. People are like, what do you mean we're going to have fun? What do you mean you're the fun weight loss coach? Because it sounds like frivolous. It sounds like it's not going to work, but like that's why it works. It's like a very intentional part of the strategy. We have to be having fun while we're losing weight. Otherwise, we're going to want to quit. So yeah, we have so much fun together.
I'll put all these links into the show notes so you can connect with Laura. Again, thank you for your time today.
You're the best. I love you. Thank you for having me on the show. So fun. You're such a good interviewer.